The Dreamweaver's Gift. The night was quiet, with only the soft hum of the wind passing through the trees. In a small village nestled between rolling green hills and silver lakes, there lived a little girl named Elara. She had the most curious eyes, deep blue like the twilight sky, always searching, always wondering. But lately, she hadn't been sleeping well. Every night, she would close her eyes and find only darkness, no dreams, no whispers of adventure, just an empty, endless void. "Why don't I dream anymore?" she asked her grandmother one evening as they sat by the fire. Her grandmother, wise and gentle, stroked Elara's hair and smiled. "Perhaps, dear one, the Dreamweaver has yet to visit you." Dreamweaver. Elara's eyes widened. "Who is that?" Her grandmother leaned in closer. The Dreamweaver is a guardian of the night, traveling across the skies, stitching dreams into slumbering minds with golden thread. But sometimes he needs a little help finding those who have lost their way into dreams. Elara thought about this as she curled up in bed, listening to the wind outside. And just as her eyes fluttered shut, something strange happened. A warm, golden glow filled her room, and when she opened her eyes, she was no longer in her bed. She was floating. The air around her shimmered like melted stars, and soft clouds cradled her feet. Ahead of her stood a figure cloaked in deep midnight blue, his robe speckled with tiny constellations that twinkled as he moved. His face was kind, ancient yet youthful, and in his hands he held a spindle wrapped in golden thread. "Elara," the figure spoke, his voice smooth like a lullaby. "I am the Dreamweaver, and I have come to guide you back to the world of dreams." Elara felt warmth spread in her chest. "But how?" she asked. "I've forgotten how to dream." The Dreamweaver gave her a knowing smile. "Dreams are never truly lost, only hidden. Come, let me show you." He extended his hand, and the moment she touched it, the world around her melted into a cascade of colors. Elara found herself standing in a breathtaking land, a floating city woven from silver mist and golden light. Towers spun like spirals of stardust, and rivers of liquid moonlight flowed between them. Above, enormous orbs of dreams drifted like bubbles, each holding a different scene. A child flying with butterflies, a boy sailing on a sea of stars, a musician playing a harp made of raindrops. "This," the Dreamweaver said, "is where dreams are born." Elara watched in awe as tiny, glowing creatures, dream sprites, gathered dreams and carried them to sleeping minds. But something was wrong. Some dreams were trapped in thick, inky vines, struggling to break free. "Nightmares," the Dreamweaver explained, his expression darkening. "Sometimes shadows try to steal the light. They make people forget how to dream." Elara clenched her fists. "Then we have to help." The Dreamweaver nodded, handing Elara a tiny, glowing spindle. "With this, you can weave light back into lost dreams. But be careful. The shadows will try to whisper doubts into your heart." Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward. The vines around the trapped dreams hissed and slithered, reaching toward her. They whispered things that made her feel small, afraid, alone. "You are not enough," they murmured. "You cannot change anything." Elara shut her eyes, clutching the spindle tightly. "That's not true," she whispered. "I am enough." With a flick of her wrist, she spun golden thread around the vines, and as soon as the light touched them, they recoiled, hissing and vanishing into the air. One by one, she freed the trapped dreams, the painter who had lost inspiration, the child afraid of the dark, the traveler who had forgotten how to hope. As each dream was restored, the sky brightened and a soft melody filled the air. The Dreamweaver placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You see, Elara? Dreams do not disappear. They only need someone to believe in them again." As the last dream floated back into the sky, Elara felt her eyelids grow heavy. "It's time for you to return," the Dreamweaver said softly. "But remember, you will always have the heart of a dreamer." A warm, golden light wrapped around her, and the next thing she knew, she was back in her bed. Elara sat up, looking around her familiar room. Had it all been a dream? But then she noticed something, a tiny spindle glowing softly on her nightstand. She smiled, tucking it under her pillow as she lay back down. And that night, as she closed her eyes, dreams came rushing back to her, bright, beautiful, and endless. Far above, in the silver-woven sky, the Dreamweaver watched with a satisfied smile before vanishing into the night.